Hi there, and welcome back. So, today I have a guest who I adore. Her name is Laura Conley. She is the founder of the Yummy Mummy Method, which has successfully helped hundreds of women lose weight for the last time. She's also been lovingly labeled the fun weight loss coach by her clients. Laura helps mamas who have been painfully struggling with diet drama to lose weight for the last time and free themselves from the food chatter forever, all from a place of love. Laura is the host of the Lose Weight for the Last Time podcast, and I am so happy to have her today to talk about weight loss, coaching, and all the things. And with that, I'd like to welcome Laura Conley.
Jackie, that was so beautiful. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Me too. I love your energy. And every time people meet you, they're like, oh my God, does she have amazing energy? So, of course, you're the fun weight loss coach because you are. You're fun, fun,
I
fun.
mean, yeah, I'm fun. I agree. I agree with you and them. But that is the
How,
nicest compliment you could ever give somebody is like you have good energy. I received that and thank you.
And food is fun. And the problem with most weight loss programs are they don't feel fun. It feels like your fun is stolen because food is fun. So, talk to us a little bit about Yummy Mummy, how it came to be, how you came up. I love the title, by the way. How you came up with the title, when you became a weight loss coach, what did you do before coaching, all the things.
Yeah. Okay. So I was a drug rep. So I was in like corporate America and I was selling drugs essentially. And it just wasn't fulfilling. So I had
I
a
think they call them pharmaceuticals, but I love that you're like, I was a drug rep.
Yeah, I was slinging drugs. Yeah, I was a rep for ADHD medicine actually. And it was great, but it just wasn't fulfilling. And I wanted something more. So I left corporate America. I mean, there's a whole story there, but left corporate America and became a yoga teacher and a life coach. And that was great. But when I had my daughter 7.5 years ago, I had another really big wake up call, and I was standing in front of the mirror, butt naked out of the shower with my 6 week old, and I was beating myself up for not bouncing back into my pre baby jeans fast enough, end quotes. And I just had this like out of body experience like, oh my God, I'm going to pass this down to her if I don't solve this once and for all. Like, if
Mm,
I don't heal my relationship with food and
mm,
my relationship with my body, like, she's going to inherit it. Like,
mm,
especially given the culture that we live in. So,
mm,
prior to that, I had really accepted defeat. I had just thought this will be my thing. I'm just going to like yo yo for the rest of my life. Like, whatever, Laura, it's not like the worst problem to have. I just sort of accepted I'm always going to be like on a green juice cleanse and then throwing in the towel and eating all of the pizza and cheese fries and wine or whatever. And in that moment, I just like really made a decision to figure it out once and for all. And so I went on a journey to figure it out and figured it out, which feels crazy even now. Like it still feels kind of unbelievable because I
mm,
had struggled for like 20 years with
mm,
trying this diet and that diet. And like you're saying, and it was never fun. So I could never keep the weight off because I was just whole 30ing or 75 harding. Like there was always an end date, right? That I was
Yep.
going to like,
Yep.
throw in the towel.
Yep.
And so I'm like, I have to figure this out. And at that time, I did want to lose a baby weight, but I wanted to do it in a healthy way. So I wanted to do all of it. And
Hmm.
that's something that like I really believe in now that we should give ourselves permission to have, like to have all of it. Like sometimes I get annoyed at
Hmm.
myself. I'm like, why do you have to want everything, all of it, all of the time? And I'm like, no, this is actually like a good quality because I actually do believe we can have it all. So, anyways, I went down this crazy maniacal journey to figure it out once and for all and ended up using a lot of my background in coaching and
Hmm.
psychology,
Hmm.
but then also went on a deep dive around hunger hormones and blood sugar balance. And so
Hmm.
I really blended like a bunch of stuff like mindfulness, psychology, hormone health, all kinds of different things, got some certifications in there. And then I remember like really, it was like a year after that moment. And I remember saying to my husband, like, I really did this. Like, I can't believe it. And I was freaked out because it was like the thing I really thought I couldn't do. And so it almost left me kind of scared because I'm like, well, if I can do that, then I can do anything. And that's when I had another wake up call of like, I have to free the moms. Like, I have to. I had this like moment of like I was playing with my baby, like 1 year old baby at the time, and I was like in the pool playing with her, and I could see all these other moms like on the chaise lounges. And it was like I had this vision, like they're handcuffed to the chaise lounge in their like cover up. They're not playing with their kids. I don't know if they want to play with their kids or not, but I'm like fully in the pool, like having a blast in my bathing suit with my kid. And I knew I was like, that would have been me. I would have been like strapped to the chaise lounge because I didn't want to like wear a bathing suit. So I felt like that same kind of conviction in that moment of like, I have to free the moms from this trap that a lot of us have it,
Hmm.
accepted defeat around. So, anyways, that's like long story short, but that's how the Yummy Mummy was born. And I really niched down. I stopped doing like general life coaching and golden handcuff coaching and like just did Yummy Mummy coaching, which is like,
Hmm.
yes, it's weight loss coaching, but it's so much more because we are healing this at the root. And
Hmm.
so my clients are always like, this was a trick. Like, you told me I was going to lose weight, and I totally did lose weight, but like, I also cleaned up so many other areas of my life. And again, it's
Hmm.
because it's holistic and it's because it's like
Hmm.
the root work. So,
Hmm. So many people would come to me because I'm a former TV executive, and they would come to me because they're TV executives, or they come to me because they work in television. So they want career coaching, which I don't market myself as a career coach nor an executive coach. I always say I'm a general life coach. I work from the inside out, not the outside
mm,
in. So, yes, I will coach you on how to manage your difficult boss. Yes, I'll coach you on how to get that promotion. Yes, I'll coach you on how to quit your job, all the things. But I do it holistically. So, I really relate to what you're saying about the holistic part. But what's fascinating, and this is the part I've told so many times, is how many clients came to me at the beginning of my coaching career and they would go, I want to improve my marriage. I want to improve my job. I want to make more money. I want to do the, they have all their list.
mm,
Okay, one thing at a time. And then, like 3 sessions into working with them for 3 months or 6 months, they'd be like, oh, and by the way, I'd love to lose 30 pounds. I'm like, that wasn't even mentioned on the list of wants. And I'm like, I'm just curious. I can help you do that. But why didn't you bring that up? Like, we've been
yeah,
together now. And they say, well, because I've tried so many times, I've just forgotten about it. Like, it just became part
yeah,
of them. And what was so interesting was 9 out of 10 times, the root issue was the weight. It was all about, healthy eating and good morning habits and self-esteem and feeling good in their clothing. And it was just fascinating to me that what people thought was really career coaching or executive coaching, and again, not marketing to that, was really about weight loss coaching
yeah,
because it was about self-esteem. So that same epiphany you had with the moms all on the chaise lounges
yeah.
watching their kids play in the pool, and you're like, I got to free them. And so anyway, again, I'm not a
No,
weight
but
loss
you're
coach,
bringing up
but
the best point, which is like, I mean, you brought up like 8 good points, but one of them that I really wanted to touch on is like, I remember not putting it on my list of goals anymore
Mhm.
because I had failed so many times. And like,
Mhm.
I want to shout it from the rooftops that like, you have permission to still want this. Like,
Yes. Yes.
so many of us, again, they've probably accepted defeat, and it's like there's shame around it. It's actually becoming a little bit taboo to want to lose weight. Like when I go on other podcasts, people will introduce me as like a health coach because they don't want to come out and say like weight loss because it can come across as frivolous or vain or taboo. And I think the opposite is true. And I really want to give women, people, humans permission to want it, because what I did for so long was make myself wrong and bad for wanting it. I shame myself because I thought it meant that I didn't love myself, and I thought it meant I didn't love my body. And again, the opposite was true. I actually had a real, true, intuitive desire to lose the extra weight that wasn't meant for my body. And when I finally listened to it, I went on like the most transformational journey I've ever been on. And I've been obsessed with personal growth since I was like 12, reading like Chicken Soup for the Soul, you know? And so when I finally listened to like what was an intuition or a gut feeling or whatever you want to call it, it's like, oh no, this actually means I do love my body. I just want to level it up. Just because I want to change it doesn't mean I hate it. It actually can mean that I love it. And so
Yeah.
for your listeners, I just want to like write a permission slip, like you're allowed to want this if you want it. It doesn't mean you don't like love your body or whatever.
I love that distinction so much. I'm going to just reiterate what you said because I want to sit in that moment. There is so much shame in both directions. There's so much shame in carrying weight, like, oh, she's heavy, she doesn't take good care of herself, or she's unhealthy, or she doesn't value her body, or she doesn't value her health, or blah, blah, blah. There's that.
Mm,
And then there's so much shame the other way that if you are curvy or you are heavy or you do not meet the ideal criteria of weight, that you should love yourself no matter what you are. And you should. I mean, you should
yes,
be grateful for your body and grateful for your health. So you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. And I love what you said, which is like you can still want it. You can still want to lose weight without shame. And you don't have to lose weight without shame.
exactly.
Like you do you.
That's exactly right. Like whatever you want, but like tune in to that little voice inside who knows the truth and tune out the external noise because that's what you're talking about. I always think about like 80s and 90s, like this heroin chic ideal that we all had to,
Yes.
be
Well, it started in
trying.
the 60s with Twiggy, but yes.
Okay, so 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
And then what we did, and it was still present in the 2000s. I mean, it's still present, right? But then what happened is we swung way too far over here with the body positivity movement, which
Yeah.
I teach body positivity. I literally teach it. But what happens is we misinterpret the messaging. Again, I felt so much shame, especially as a yoga teacher and a coach. Like, I should be evolved enough to, like, accept me as I am. And like, I finally had that aha of like, no, I do accept me and I want something different.
Yeah. I just love that distinction. I love it. Talk to me about the Yummy Mummy program. Was it always a group coaching style program or was it ever individual?
It was individual at the beginning. I was testing. I was trying it all on my friends and testing
Hmm.
it out.
Hmm.
Pretty quickly, it became group because it just got popular. And
Mm.
like, I just like group better. So
Mm.
there was about a year where I had one-on-one and I had group, maybe like 6 months. But what was happening is the results in the group were insane, like just sky high. And I honestly felt like a little bit out of integrity doing the one-on-ones because I'm like, I can sell them on the group, even if they don't want to do the group, because the group is so much better. It's the best thing for them. Because what happens in a group when it comes to weight loss, like I do think there's a time and a place for one-on-one coaching, like a bazillion percent. Like that's why I have a couple one-on-ones, but it's not weight loss. Like I won't do weight loss coaching one-on-one unless it's a dude. If it's a dude, I'll do it. But anyways, my point here is that there's a lot of shame, like we just talked about, around weight loss. And the shame just goes poof in a group setting when you see,
Mm.
oh my God, everyone else
Mm.
here is struggling with this. Like, I'm not
Mm.
wrong or bad. And it's also very helpful to do it in the group because there will be struggles over the course of the 6 months, and
Mm.
you'll be in a challenging moment, and someone will have just been there last
Mhm.
week and they will
Mhm.
hold the torch for you, and vice versa.
Mhm.
And it becomes a sisterhood. And that sounds cheesy, and I like don't,
No,
you know,
I don't think so. I think it's probably why Weight Watchers has been around for so long because it was group. It was an opportunity to talk about not just recipes and calories and strategies, but feelings and thoughts and the psychological component that goes behind eating, overeating, overindulging, mindless eating, all the things.
yeah, you're exactly right. Yeah, totally. So I love the groups. And I mean, it's just a kind of who I am. I've been playing around with this question lately, like, what would you do, like Jackie or whatever, Megan? What would you do if you were just like sitting around all day and you didn't have a job or a new puppy or kids or whatever? Like,
Mhm.
what would your default mode be? Mine would be to create groups and experiences. Like, it's just, I mean, like I just
Yeah.
do it by accident. I can't
Yeah.
not do it. So,
Yeah.
a natural part of who I am. I've been doing it since I was like 12 years old. So it's only natural that I lead the groups, but the groups themselves are like, there's just so much like sacred specialness that happens inside. And we also have a team of coaches that are in there, and we also have hype girls that are in there too. So like Yum Mum Alum are in there, and they're also kind of holding the torch and being like, this is normal. It's okay. We've got you. Like, and we're holding their hand every step of the way. And I just think that's so important because to your point, so many of my clients have tried and failed so many times.
Yes.
It is helpful to have someone like literally holding your hand through the process and being like, we've got you when that like old diet brain inevitably rears its head because it will.
I mean, depending on what generation you were born in, that diet brain can come from different falsehoods.
Mm,
So, I'm of a generation, or I should say, my father in law was a doctor and he was very lean. He was a huge athlete. He was a cardiologist. And so he was all calories in, calories out. Like that was his philosophy. And he stayed lean his whole life, but he also exercised like a maniac.
yep.
And he was very careful about his diet. He was very restrictive of his diet. And he probably had really good genes too.
Yeah.
So it was
Yeah.
like a combo platter. And
Totally.
calories in, calories out, which was a philosophy for decades,
Yeah. Oh, totally.
doesn't work for everyone.
No, it doesn't work. And the screwy thing about it all is that it kind of works. It almost works. Like
Yeah,
it
it's
works if you
close.
want short-term weight loss,
Yeah.
but like it doesn't actually work if what you want is permanent weight loss. And that was why it was like intoxicating for me. I always would be like, okay, you know what? Screw this keto plan or screw this Weight Watchers or Tracy Anderson or Gwyneth Paltrow BS. I'm just going to go back to 800 calories a day, which is
Right.
psychotic. Like I can't even believe that I used to basically starve myself, but I did because it would work. But of course,
Yeah.
it wouldn't work in the long run. And that's
Right.
what I was unwilling to do in that moment with my daughter. I'm like, I'm unwilling to do this in an unhealthy way. There has to be a way. So the hunger hormone balance is, I mean, along with what you were saying, the mindset and the emotional intelligence and the accountability, like it's like this perfect recipe that like no one's talking about. Like,
Yeah.
you guys, this
Well, and I think to your point, sustainability is so crucial. If you're an athlete and you have to weigh in, if you're a prize fighter, you have to
yeah,
weigh in at a certain weight, and there's ways to trick your body to lose weight. I think if you're a runway model, you have to be a certain size and all the things. If you're an actor for a role and you have to lose weight really fast, there's ways to do that. But we're talking about sustainability and also lifetime, right? Because what you want is not to get down to your skinny jean weight or your wedding weight or your high school prom weight. You want to live at a weight that is comfortable for you, but you want to be able to live. You
mhm,
want to be able to go out for dinner with your
yes,
partner, or you want to have brunch with your girlfriends, and you want to have birthday cake on your birthday, and you want to
yes,
have a glass of champagne if that's in your wheelhouse at your daughter or son's wedding. Like you
yeah,
want to live your life. But the question is like, how can I sustainably stay at a comfortable weight where I'm not buying three different wardrobe sizes? Because I
yeah,
do know people who have them. They're like, oh no, that's my fat girl jeans, that's my skinny girl someday jeans, and that's what I wear right now, whatever. And it's like, you shouldn't have three different wardrobes. You should have one wardrobe. And you should be able to eat in restaurants. You should be able to travel. And you should be able to eat healthfully and feel good when you eat without shame.
yep. Yeah, and you wrapped it up in a nutshell. That's exactly right, Jackie. Like, and I always thought that was like too much to ask. Like, it is my favorite activity is to go out to dinner. I always thought it was either or. Like, okay, I can weigh what I want to weigh, but that means I have to change my entire social life and all of my hobbies and everything I like to do and give all of that up so that I can weigh what I want, or just like, be like what I would call like my, like my chunky self or whatever and then get to have that. And it goes back to like, no, it's and in both. And you get to have it all. Like you really can be a foodie and weigh what you want, or travel to New York City with your daughters and have the fun food and weigh what you want. Like it actually
Mhm.
is possible. Like, can you eat three cupcakes every night? Probably not. Right.
Nope.
But is
Nope.
that really even a treat, anyways? Right. It's like what you're saying. It's like the special moments. Like you're not going to regret that glass of champagne or that like pastry in New York City. And it's like how do we do it in a way, again, and in both, like best of
Yeah.
both worlds. And
Well,
it is
I think that
possible.
goes back to sort of being in touch with the emotional component about eating,
Yes, 100%.
which is just like anything, when your body is full of junk food or anything, medications, anything that's over, right? Overindulgence of anything. You crave it and you need more and more and more of it. This is true of caffeine. This is true of sugar. This is true of alcohol. This is true of white flour, all the things. And when you eliminate everything for a short period, not to starve yourself, you eliminate all the toxins, all the processed food, and you get back to basics. It's
Mm.
amazing how good food tastes. Like
It's, oh my God, like a freaking raspberry. Like I'm on a
you're
high.
like, yeah, because once all the artificial sweeteners and heavy salts and all the processed food is gone, food really tastes good. And
Mm,
then you bring it back in moderation, and then you learn portion control and all the things. But until then, what happens is you actually don't feel good unless you have 3 cupcakes because you're chasing
yeah,
the high, the dopamine high of that sweet or
totally.
that white flour. And then when it's all gone and you bring it back in slowly, you go, oh, wait a minute. I don't feel good when I eat or overeat, just like over drinking, right?
Yeah,
It's fine to have a glass of wine or a glass of champagne if that's within your program. But when you're in 2 and 3 glasses, you're not going to feel well. It's going to interrupt your sleep. It's going to interrupt your hormones. It is going to interrupt your weight.
yeah, totally.
Yeah. But you don't know because your body builds up tolerances to food, just like it does alcohol and drugs.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I think the emotional component is beautiful actually because it's like an invitation. It's like a check engine light. It's like if
Mhm.
you are going for that third glass of wine or you are pacing in the pantry at 9 p.m., and you're not hungry, it's like what's going on here? If the refrigerator light is staring you back in the face and you're searching for something and you're not hungry. I always tell my clients like if hunger isn't the problem, food isn't the solution. And instead of beating yourself up, if you notice that you are kind of pantry pacing, looking for like the kids' cheddar bunnies or whatever it is, it's like, what do I actually need here? Like, what
Right.
am I looking for? What am I searching for? And again, it's like the best check engine light because it's like, oh, I need a reward from this hard ass day. Or like, oh, I need some comfort or I need some pleasure. The question then becomes like, how can I give that to myself in a way that doesn't leave me with regret or doesn't give me a hangover or, serves me in the moment and serves me tomorrow and the next day and the next day and so on and so forth. I actually think emotional eating or drinking or overing or whatever is like kind of a cool invitation for us to get to know ourselves on a deeper level and really take care of ourselves, like
Yeah.
way into real true self-care.
Yeah. Online shopping is very close. I think it's becoming the new emotional eating.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. And like if we're not careful, we can transfer the habit,
Of
right?
course. Of
So
course.
it's like if you don't really do the root work, then yeah, you're just going to be on Amazon instead of in the pantry.
Exactly. What is a, I mean, just to give people a taste, no pun intended, maybe a little pun intended, a taste of what you would recommend. So it's 9 o'clock, somebody's had dinner, they're not hungry, but they're pantry pacing or they're in the refrigerator with the glow of the light in the dark. Once you know they're actually not hungry, what would be a intelligent substitute for that? What would you tell a client to go do?
Yeah, so I really would have your audience, your client, my client, like again, kind of cheesy, but like hands on your heart, like deep breath,
Mm,
like what am I actually looking for? And then like trust the guess, trust the answer that comes up.
mm,
What am I actually looking for? Your body, your intuition, your gut, again, whatever you want to call it, will tell you. Can you listen? And this isn't an overnight thing, right? Like
mm,
if you even catch yourself eating when you are not hungry, I want you to celebrate that instead of beating yourself up. This is a
mhm,
process. And the dieters, like if you were like me, you're going to hate that it's a process because you want to
mhm,
lose like 20 pounds by yesterday, right?
mhm,
But
mhm,
if you want actual permanent, like let's lose weight for the last time kind of results, it has to be a process. And so that's what I would ask you to do is just ask yourself, hands on heart, what am I really looking for? Trust the answer, comfort, stress relief, a reward. For me, it was like always a reward or pleasure, or like I'm a little bit bored or I'm a little bit
mhm.
restless.
Boredom
Yeah.
boredom is the biggest one.
Yeah. So like what am I looking for? And like how can I give that to myself right now? And like let me call out, your answer, it might be watching Shrinking on Netflix. It
Hmm.
might be going to bed and like the clean sheets with like the new All Fours book. It might be like cuddling your new puppy dog. It might be planning a massage for this weekend. Whatever the thing is, I want to warn you, you won't get as big of a hit. Like
Yeah, there's no dopamine hit when
there
you
is a little
close the
dopamine hit. It's
refrigerator.
a
Yeah.
little bit. There's a little dopamine hit from watching Shrinking or from getting into bed early. But the high isn't as high, which means the low isn't as low, right?
Hmm.
So it's like delayed gratification and immediate gratification. But I always teach my clients about this concept that I made up, which I mean, it probably has like an actual proper psychological term, but almost immediate gratification. So you've said to yourself, what am I actually looking for? I'm looking for comfort. I'm going to go
Hmm.
upstairs, get into bed, and I'm going to read by myself. My kids are asleep, and I'm going to read for like an hour. Like to me right now, like that sounds pretty dreamy. So you're in your bed, it's 5 minutes in, and I want you to pause and be like, oh my God, I'm freaking amazing. I'm
Hmm.
amazing. Like, look at how proud I am of me.
Hmm.
Like, I did this. So you can actually kind of I'm a gold star kid. So like I
Hmm.
actually have to give myself that like
Hmm.
pump, and that will help to solidify this new habit, this new way of being that you
Hmm.
want to create. So like
Hmm.
recognize and applaud yourself, and then you will get it the next morning too. Cause like for me, I would get like sugar hangovers. I'd wake up and I'd be like, oh, I didn't even have like any alcohol, but why do I feel like total crap? And I'm like, oh yeah, I totally had so much sugar last night. Right.
Yeah.
And so you will start to build the muscle and you will start to reap the rewards.
Yeah.
And a lot of my clients, like they come in and they have like really, really compelling reasons as to why they want to lose weight. And so thinking of those compelling reasons when you're standing in front of the fridge, when you're walking up the stairs to your bed, when you're like gonna choose the dog cuddles instead of, the Oreos or whatever it is. So
Hmm.
again, the high isn't going to be as high, but you won't be left with that low, with that regret, with that hangover, whatever. So it's
Yeah.
worth it. It's worth it.
Because most people's problem is nighttime eating. That's when the boredom, that's when the fatigue kicks in. You're exhausted. It's dark. It's usually colder. You're watching TV. It's a
Yeah.
habit, all the things. And
Yeah.
so I used to say when that craving comes up, I mean, again, if we're assuming you've had dinner, right? We're assuming you've
Yeah.
had a real meal with protein and lots of water. And if you're
Yeah.
not thirsty, I'd say when that craving comes or when that need to go to the pantry, eat the Oreo or the crackers or the whatever, I say, I want you to write down
Mm,
what you're feeling. And they'd be like, ugh, I don't want to do that. Like, I have to get a pen, I have to get a paper, I have to be in touch with my thoughts. And I'm like, uh huh. And all of that is going to take you out of the habit
mm,
of
good.
going and getting that box of crackers or going and getting that sleeve of Oreos or having another soda or another glass of wine. When
Yeah.
you have to deal with and actually process your thoughts, and you don't have to write much, you don't have to write a novel,
Yeah.
you have to write, I feel.
Yeah. So
I
good.
feel bored. I feel angry. I feel tired. And then listen to your body, right? If you're angry, is there something you can do about it? Can you journal that? If you're bored, can you read a book or take a shower or get back on your Peloton and do 5 minutes on your Peloton or on your treadmill or walk around the block with your dog? And then if you're tired, to your point, can you go to bed?
Yeah. 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 And
So,
it's a big ask for some people, but it's totally worth it. I have like this thing inside the program called like the self-care system, because it's like if you are filling up your pleasure cup or your comfort cup or your de-stressor cup, if you're filling your cup up, if you're putting your oxygen mask on,
first, yes.
like during the day, it's kind of magical. You're not going to be in the pantry, or you're way less likely to be in the pantry when
Mhm.
you have, again, the high isn't as high, but when you've walked with a friend and you've laughed and you've hugged your friend,
Mhm.
like, or your husband or whoever, your dog, right? Like, what fills that cup up for you and how can you do it? And I make my clients do this really
Mhm.
every single day, filling their cup up actively so that it's kind of like we're blunting the strong desire that will inevitably come up at 9 p.m. or at 2:30 p.m. or in times of transition. And then I also teach my clients that like the opposite of willpower, this concept allow power, which is
Hmm.
similar to like kind of like writing down your feelings, but it's like don't make yourself bad or wrong for wanting ice cream. Like
Right.
instead of being like, what? I mean, oh my gosh. I there's a really funny story of we moved to a new apartment. This is way back in my dieting days in Santa Monica, and we had been in there for a couple months. Another set of new neighbors were moving in, and they overheard me yelling at my husband for not hiding the chocolate covered peanut butter stuffed pretzels well enough. Like she heard me yelling at my husband because he didn't hide his snacks well enough. I'm just like laughing because I would be so mad at him if he brought home junk. Right now,
Right.
my like pantry's full of like crap my kids like and my husband
Yeah.
likes, you
Yeah.
know? And it's like instead of willing and be like, why did he bring that? Oh my God, I'm so mad at him. Or like, I shouldn't want this. Why do I want this? It's like, no, of course I want it. It makes perfect sense. Like, I'm not
Right.
bad for wanting it. And when you can soften that grip, it actually becomes easier and you decondition, like we're all like Pavlovian dogs. You
Totally.
decondition the desire when you speak to yourself lovingly. If you look at like habit change science, it's like, or you look at like parenting, that's
Mm-hmm.
like, a lot of this gentle parenting is so popular right now. And that's what they're talking about. It's like if you really want to change a behavior, you can't do it by punishing yourself. And so that's why I make all my clients, they're like, oh, can we like skip that part? But I make them like really learn to love themselves and talk to themselves through what I
Hmm.
call like the BFF filter. And that ends up being their favorite part. So there's a
Right.
lot of things that we can do, but just starting with hands on your heart and what am I looking for? And can you give that to yourself in another way in that moment? And then maybe throughout your day. And a lot of people will be like, I don't even know what I want. I don't even know what I like.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were like, must be nice to go on a walk with your friend. And I promise you, you can create that. You can.
Yeah.
It's just different. It's new. And your brain is addicted to the dopamine. So it's going to throw all
Yes.
of the excuses and reasons as to why you can't go for a walk with your friend, as to why you can't go upstairs. It wants the dopamine. Like
Yeah.
wants the hit. So
Yeah. I always say it's like a toddler.
yes,
It's
100.
going to throw itself and have a tantrum. And,
Mhm.
you don't give your toddler ice cream for dinner, even though they want that, right?
Exactly. And what does your toddler do when you say no to ice cream for dinner, like 3 nights in a row? The fourth night, they don't ask. Like
Right.
if you are really firm but loving, and I like to
Yeah.
like teach my clients to be like a little silly and humorous too with their brains, it'll stop asking. Like my kid does not ask for dessert on the weeknights because he knows he's not getting it. He was pissed about it when we created the rule, but he's over it now. Your brain will get over it too.
Love it. That's the thing. Our brains, they like to play tricks on us. And what you were talking about with the judgment about cravings,
Mm.
that's inner critic, right? That's somebody's mother, aunt, grandmother, father,
Yeah.
brother going, ugh, I can't believe you're eating that. Or, ugh, I can't believe
You
whatever.
should know better by now. Like, didn't you just sign up for like whatever? Didn't you just read blah 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 book? Like, what's
Yeah.
wrong with you? Get it
Yeah.
together.
You have to recognize the inner critic and say, thank you, I see you.
I make all my clients name their diet brain.
Oh, I call it the inner critic. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
like
name the inner critic.
yeah. So like all my clients have some sort of silly name. Like mine's like Loco Laura or like Bitsy Betty. Like they all have these fun
I
names
love that.
for it.
Yeah.
And then it makes it a little bit more, again, fun or lighthearted. Like I'm not saying it's not challenging sometimes, but there is a way to do this work with some lightness and actually enjoy it.
Yeah. Love it. Love it. All right. So let my audience know how they can get in touch with you, how they can find out if they have a weight loss journey that they're looking to go on or lose weight for the last time, which is Laura's tagline. How can they get in touch with you? How can they learn more about Yummy Mummy, which your podcast, all the things? Just
Yeah,
give us a
all the
recap.
things. I'll tell you all the things, Jackie. Don't
Okay.
worry. So you guys can go to lauraconley.com. So my name is Laura, and then Conley is Conley. So you guys can go to lauraconley.com if you just want to like stalk the Yummy Mummy. You can go to Lose Weight for the Last Time podcast. It's a podcast on Apple, Spotify, and you can go down that rabbit hole. And then you guys can also, if you're like, oh, I'm really picking up what she's putting down, you can sign up for my free class And that's at lauraconley.com/class. And we will teach you how to weigh what you want without doing stuff. I'm not going to swear. I did kind of swear a little bit without doing stuff or SHT you hate. So I'm going to teach you in that class exactly how to weigh what you want, using the self-care system, balancing your hunger hormones, all of that without doing stuff that you hate, because that's the worst. We do not want to hate it because we will throw in the towel. Like we will. So that's at lauraconley.com/class. And I think that's all of, oh, I mean, Instagram is Laura Conley Coaching. So all the things. Reach out if you guys have questions. I'm here for you. I mean, Jackie knows, I love engaging. I love talking to people. I love this work. I mean, yeah, it's the best.
I do too. I could talk about this all day long. I
Yeah.
just love this. I love the subject. I mean, obviously I come through it through the health lens,
Yeah,
but it's all the same result, which is like making people feel better however they get there is just
exactly.
the best. So
Right on. Oh my
thank
God.
you so much. It was so fun to spend this time with you and have you on the podcast, and reach out to Laura because she is awesome and fun.
Thank you so
Uh,
much, Jackie.
all right. I will talk to you soon, and bye for now.